All right, today we're going to be looking at two-step equations. Before we get into that, let's look at a quick review of one-step equations. We must isolate the variable, and so we have to move all numbers to the other side of the equal symbol. By moving the numbers to the other side, we must do the opposite. Let's look at some equations. So we have n plus 3 equals 12. And to get our variable by itself or isolated, you have to do the opposite of a positive 3, which is negative 3 on both sides of the equal sign. Positive 3 and a negative 3 give us a 0 pair. This isolates our n, and 12 minus 3 is 9. To check, we plug in 9 for n in our equation, and 9 plus 3 is in fact 12. For a subtraction problem, we have n minus 6 equals 14. Well, the opposite of a minus 6 or negative 6 is a positive 6. So we do positive 6 on both sides. This still is a 0 pair. A positive 6 and a negative 6 is 0. This gives us our 1n by itself. And therefore, we have 14 plus 6, which is 20. We plug in 20 for n in our original equation, and we have 20 minus 6 is in fact 14. For a multiplication example, we have 6n equals 54, 6 times n here. So the opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. So we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. 6 divided by 6 gives us our 1n isolated, and 54 divided by 6 is 9. Plug in 9 in for n in our original equation. 6 times 9 is 54. For a division problem, we have n divided by 4 equals 44. The opposite of dividing by 4 is to multiply by 4. So we're multiplied by 4 on both sides. This gives us 4n divided by 4. So we divide 4 and 4, which gives us our 1n. And 44 times 4 is 176. So we plug in 176 into our original equation, divide that by 4, and that is in fact 44. So looking at two-step equations, we are still going to isolate the variable, moving all the numbers to the other side of the equal symbol. When you move them, you still must do the opposite. You always want to start with your adding or subtracting numbers first, then you're multiplying or dividing numbers second. You can build what we call a roadmap to help with what is happening to the variable to keep you kind of more organized. Let's look at a couple examples. So the first equation we have is 2n plus 5 equals 21. The first thing that is happening to our variable is being multiplied by 2 and then added by 5. So we're going to start with our adding by 5, and the opposite of adding 5 or a positive 5 is subtracting 5 or a negative 5. So we subtract 5 on both sides. This gives us a 0 pair here and leaves 2n by itself. 21 minus 5 gives us 16. So now we have a one-step equation here with 2n equaling 16. And then so the opposite of multiplying by 2 is to divide by 2. So we're going to divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 is the 1n. And then 16 divided by 2 is 8. Plugging in 8 for n on our original equation, we have 2 times 8 is 16. And 16 plus 5 does in fact give us 21. Second equation that we have here is n divided by 5 minus 7 equals negative 3. So what's happening to the n? It's being divided by 5 first and then also subtracted by 7. Or this can also be a negative 7. So we start with our negative 7 or subtraction of 7. The opposite is to add 7 on both sides. This gives us our 0 pair. So that one goes away, and we have just n divided by 5. And then negative 3 plus 7. Well, we have to follow our integer rules here. A positive and a negative means we subtract. So 7 minus 3 is 4. Our larger number is positive, so 4 is positive. The second thing that's happening is it's being divided by 5. So the opposite is to multiply by 5 on both sides. This gives us 5n divided by 5. And so 5 divided by 5 gives us our 1n. And then we have 4 times 5, which gives us 20. To make sure we did everything right, we plug in 20 in for n in our original equation. 20 divided by 5 gives us 4. 4 minus 7 with our integer rules. We have a positive and a negative, so we subtract. 7 minus 4 gives us 3. Our larger number is negative, so our answer is negative 3. Thank you for watching this video. This was a quick explanation of 1 and 2 step equations. You can always go back and pause the video if needed. There are other great resources out on the web. Just Google the title to view more videos.